Welcome, everyone. I am so glad to see all your faces. You guys know the drill. I didn't have to do this. You're well trained. So good morning, everyone. We are a welcoming congregation where we strive to transform ourselves and the world through love, wonder, and connection. My name is Beth Mackenzie Moore, and I use the she, her pronouns. I'm the chair of the Music and Arts Committee. I'm in the choir and do this and that. So whether you are here for the first time or the thousandth time, welcome. Whatever you are facing in your life, welcome. This is a place. This is a place where we try to be real with one another, to get through our things together, and to remind ourselves and one another of the values that ground and center us, motivate us, and move us. So, whoever you are, whatever your faith journey, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We welcome all who seek the sacred and all who seek to make our world more just. Sorry. Our commitment together is to covenant. So please join me in affirmation of who this community is, beginning with that all-important word. Love is the message of this church, and service is our way. This is our great covenant together, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So, let's join in singing our opening hymn, Lean on Me. And it's 10:20 hymnal.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Sarah Goodman. I use she, her pronouns. We'll light our chalice this morning with some thoughtful words from myself. And Adina will do the lighting. We share this flame so that we may be a beacon of hope, and we can remember that we are here to lean on each other. Join me now in a time of meditation and prayer. Find a comfortable place for your body, whatever that may be. Notice your breathing and find your center if you can. Take a time to be in silence together. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of all we hold sacred. May we be reminded today that all we are and all we do matters. May we be reminded today that we are beloved, and so is everyone else. Let us remember together we can make it through hard things. Let us remember that we are not alone. In that spirit, we say amen. And every week that we come together, we bring our joys and our sorrows. We bring what weighs us down, what lifts us up into this space. Today, maybe things might be a little more of a struggle than usual. I invite you to think for a moment, what is it you can bring to light up this space, to light up our lives, our hearts? And I invite you to think of the things that you need to let go of, the things that are weighing you down, that we can share the weight of if you share them with us. We'll do our typical we light one candle. I know there was someone who came, I think it was Joshua, who wanted a candle from online. And then one final candle for all. Oh, we have more. Okay. Thank you for bearing with our technical issues this morning. We can light additional candles once the service is continued. Well, this is our candle that holds all of the joys, some of the sorrows that you're holding. Candles are much brighter when they are lit together. And we place one final stone for all the heavy things that weigh you down that you could not share today. And for all online who weren't able to get their words in. Thank you, thank you. And please join in the sung prayer response. There is a love. There's a love holding me. Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And today I brought a back. As you may see or not see, it's not a real back, but I like it anyway. I like to imagine that it's teal and purple and rainbow, my three favorite colors. And it's covered in patches and buttons and pins. This one is a picture of an elephant. That's my favorite land animal. And this one is a picture of a narwhal. It's my favorite sea animal. Let's see, this one says Unitarian Universalist, gotta represent. This one's a little cartoon turtle eating a slice of pizza because, hello, it's adorable. Yeah, okay. I could probably spend all day telling you what's on my backpack, in my imaginary backpack up here. But instead, I thought it would be cool if you all brought imaginary bags with you today. So grab your bag. If it isn't a backpack, maybe that's not your style. Maybe it's a purse or a satchel. If it's a fanny pack, that's fine, but just make sure it's a pretty big fanny pack, okay? So get your bag. Okay, everybody got your bag? Great. Now look around and look at everybody else's bag and admire them for a few minutes. Oh, look, I love the color of that one. Oh, that's a cute pouch over there. Is that Louis Vuitton? Let's see. Okay, so we have our bags, and I'm going to, you can just kind of set it down if you want to. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I was carrying in mind today. So I dumped it out on the pulpit for service this morning. Sorry, Reverend Sarah and Beth. They didn't trip over any of it, but let's see what I have here. Okay, so I carry love for my family in my bag, right? Oh. And my passion for songs and music, those go in my bag too. I've got my identity cards here, plus size, multiracial, queer, neurospicy. Those go in my bag. Oh, there's my creativity. Hold on. You know, stuff that in there. I have my love of potatoes. Charlene, I know mine isn't as big as yours. She must have brought a bigger bag. Does anybody want to call out something that's in your bag today? Friends, yeah.
Oh, you brought a really big fanny pack over there. Okay, anybody else? What's in your bag? Music, dogs, snacks, books, nature. I love it. Okay. They sound wonderful. They sound wonderful. I'm going to finish cleaning up so the other people who come up here don't have to trip over my things. I don't have time to talk about all of it, so I'm going to grab these last bits and shove them in. Now, this one is my anxiety, which unfortunately I have in my bag all the time, but has felt a little extra heavy lately. This one here is my struggle with time management. That goes with that neurospicy bit. I don't always carry this one, but recently I picked up some disappointment somewhere. And my fears seem to be taking up a little bit more room in there than it usually does. And hope seems to maybe be taking not much space at all. And it's all in there, right? It's just sort of going to grab this big full bag and I'm going to throw it on my back. Ugh. This is really heavy. Everyone throw your bags on. Do you feel it too? Okay. So of course my shoulders are feeling a lot of the weight, but it's kind of going down now, right? Into my arms and my hands. Maybe it's moving down your back. I'm not as spry as I used to be when I carried a backpack every day. I feel it coming down my legs into my knees, and my feet feel the extra weight. My shoulders are getting tight, and that moves up into your neck. You know when that happens and you can't really turn around? It's all there. Everything is feeling heavy and tight. Is anyone else feeling like that? Yes. Yes. Have you been feeling that a bit lately? Well, I was reminded of a song recently that's been living in my head a lot this week, and it's helped some. I think maybe if I share it with you all, it could help you too, and it's called Loosen by Ali Halpert. And it goes like this. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Let's try it together. I heard some of you have heard it before. We're going to do a call-in response for those who have not. Here we go. Loosen, loosen, baby. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Put it all together. Here we go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. So it sounds like we've got it, and I think we are ready. I want you to take your bag back off. Let's set it aside for just a minute, and we're going to focus on our loosening together. So you can stand, you can come into the aisles, you can stay where you are, but we're going to focus first on loosening our bottom half. So whatever is your bottom half, and we'll sing together. Here we go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Now we move to our top halves, loosening them up and singing together. Here we go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Now, however you are moved to move or loosen, any other part of yourself that feels heavy. Maybe it's in your body, maybe it's in your heart, maybe your mind, or maybe your spirit. We loosen them all together and sing one more time. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Thank you for taking a moment to set your bags aside and loosen with me. And we end our time together with a reminder that it's important to take these moments to loosen and to breathe. And it's also important to remember that many people, especially those of us who hold various marginalized identities, do not often get to put our bags down and loosen. So after we loosen and we give ourselves a moment to rest our bodies and our hearts and our spirits, we pick our bags back up and we go and we try to help others with heavier bags than our own. We try to help them carry the weight of the world, not in their muscles and bones, because we carry it together like our lights, in hopes that one day we can all start to let go, let go, let go. And now, let go to class.
Please join me with our offering and acknowledging the ways we give to our church and to this world. We give because this is our church and we value what it does for us and through us to our community and our world. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this church inside and out. May we give in love and in hope. thank you for your offering and all the ways you give to our life and ministry with your time, talent, treasure, and trust. Together, our gifts allow us to expand and strengthen the tapestry of love, wonder, and connection that blesses this church and transforms us and our world. So our reading today, this morning, is When It Really Is Just the Wind and Not a Furious Vexation by Kyle Tranmere. The year I was born, the Soviet Union's early warning radar system malfunctioned, reporting 5 intercontinental ballistic missiles in flight, a preemptive nuclear strike. You may have heard this story. It is a true story. How a single lieutenant colonel dismissed the signal as a false alarm that it was, but had he made a different call in that moment, had he seen those 5 ghost fingers as a fist, a mushroom cloud, the most dangerous cliche. I hold it in my hands on my 40th birthday, and it becomes a bouquet, 1,000 stems leading to 1,000 worlds in which cooler heads did not prevail, to 1,000 alternate universe versions of me, born in the year of apocalypse. I see myself dead via radiation poisoning, dead via the shutdown of a supply chain, the failure of a water system, the reemergence of previously preventable disease, dead in such many ways, via an unlucky fall in a fistfight over nothing, via scratch, ignored and infected. I plucked petals looking for a version of me who survives, hoping to find that, you know, the leather jacket, black motorcycle, katana strapped to my back version, or the warrior poet, lone vessel of vengeance, keeping the wasteland's unending tide of razor-clawed mutants at bay version. All these dead worlds. And he isn't out there. All these visions of who I could have been, and not a single hero, folk, super, anti, or otherwise. In one life, I wore a suit of armor and drowned in the river. In one life, I hoarded the food and choked on it. In one life, the basement was so full of boxes of bullets, a tornado came, and I had nowhere to go. No shelter. I emptied clip after clip into the wind. All those dead worlds, and we tell the same stories. Which is not to say that I never survive, just that my survival in every reality where it is possible never belongs to me. I see myself 40, not a dual welding bandit warlord, just a neighbor sitting in another endless community meeting. And how many of our ancestors have already taught us, even after the world ends, there is work to do. I see myself in that work, not the leader, not the lone wolf, just another part of the pack. Because in every universe which I am alive, it is because of other people. I don't always like them, but I love them. In every universe in which I am alive, it is less because I could fight, but more because I could forgive, because I could cooperate, because I could apologize, because I could dance, because I could grow pumpkins in my backyard and leave them at my neighbor's door asking for nothing in return. In every universe in which I am alive, I am holding a first aid kit, a solar panel, and a sleeping cat. Never a battle axe or a rocket launcher. Sure, maybe sometimes a chainsaw, but only for the firewood. I am holding a cooking pot, a teddy bear, a photo album, a basketball, a bouquet of flowers. Survival is not a fortress. It is a garden. Survival is not a siren. It is a symphony. And yeah, we fight for it sometimes, but survival is not the fight. It is the healing after. The soft hum of someone you trust applying the bandage. The feeling of falling asleep in a safe place.
It has been a week, y'all. The ups and downs and the roller coaster of feelings has been a lot. Optimism to pessimism, hope, despair, anxious to slightly more anxious, angry to numb to back again. Or maybe it's just been a normal week in your life because you knew this was the likely outcome of our election. Or maybe you've been pushing down your feelings because it won't change anything. Or we have to find ways to move forward. Or you just can't access those feelings yet for any kind of reason. I know some of you want me to have the magic words that will make this all better, but I don't have that. If I could shake us all awake and out of this nightmare, I would. I would deny and bargain my way out of our grief so fast if that worked. This has to be a mistake, I thought as I refreshed my election map on 4 a.m. on Wednesday morning. I'm still asleep, right? I moved to bargaining next. Well, someone or something is going to stop this from happening. Clearly, we need a recount, or someone will come out and say, oops, oh, found another couple million votes sitting in the closet in Pennsylvania and Ohio and Wisconsin. And then the tears came. And I cried because I'm scared. I cried because it feels like hope has been swept away. I cried because I felt helpless. I am so sad and scared about what it means for the future of so many people that I adore. My children, your children, our LGBTQ loves, but especially our trans beloveds, our chronically ill, our poor, our houseless, our Black and brown beloved neighbors. I'm scared for our country, for the global political climate, for climate change. I'm scared that this signals us losing, or the beginning of losing, 250-ish years of the United States. I'm scared, and I felt alone. But I know what to do in times like these. As a minister, I follow what other ministers do. That's how I know. You follow what other people are doing. So I know to gather us together so we can feel things together. I know that the first thing to do is to feel our feelings and take care of our immediate circle of people. We cannot move to what comes next if we don't let the feelings have their run for a little while. It's a really rough statement, I know that. And if you're crying, you're not the only one. There are tissues in the back. Feel free to get up and pass them around to everybody. So many of us fear our feelings, fear our emotions because they can be overwhelming. It can feel like they'll swallow us whole and never let us go. We're afraid that if we start crying or raging, that we will never stop. But if we ignore or shut down our feelings, the fear of experiencing them can create problems in our lives, changing our behaviors and relationships. It comes back again to the stages of grief, which too often in popular culture is a joke. Folks rush through the 5 stages and reach acceptance and now are done with grief forever. No. The originators of this model tell us that there are 5 parts of grief, you could call them stages if you want, that are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. But they don't specify in what order they come. And they definitely don't say that once you run through them, you're suddenly healed. Unfortunately, life and grief is more complicated than that. But if we want to process our grief and keep functioning, we need to recognize that we will likely experience each of these stages of grief and more than once. We cannot get to acceptance. We cannot get to it without feeling first. So what I'm telling you is you're not doing this wrong. No matter what you're feeling right now, you're processing. If you're protecting your heart by denying that this is happening or that you have feelings about it, you're doing what you need to do at this stage. If you're angry and screaming into the void on the regular, you're doing what you need to do at this stage. If you're blaming and searching for a solution that will make it all go away, you're doing what you need to do at this stage. If you aren't able to get out of bed, if you weep at the drop of a hat, if you feel a little numb, you're doing what you need to do at this stage of your grief. Eventually, you'll get to a different stage. Maybe you've already veered wildly between 2 or 3 of these already, several times. And it's good. It's good to feel. It's scary, but it's good. And maybe you've gotten to acceptance. Maybe you've gotten there and jumped right back to bargaining. Maybe you're solidly in acceptance and already have your plan on how to move forward. But don't rush yourself through the feelings. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be at acceptance to see hope. Remember, our hope is a sewer rat. She fights her way through the garbage, ripping and tearing to spread perseverance and joy. She's getting up from being knocked down in a fight, determined to be stronger for the next round. And I have another message of hope to bring you from my favorite Keep Your Hope Alive musicians, the Bangstons. They helped me so much through 2020 and 2021. In their song, Hope Comes, they remind us that hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. The heart of the song reminds us, when your world is burning down, getting hot is a sane reaction, one in need of action because your spirit needs protection. So gather up your sinew, gather up your faction. Yes, hope is not a feeling, hope is an action. They go on to sing, hope comes from the center of the hurt. In the middle of the dirt, we'll plant a seed and watch it grow into something we don't already know. Hope is an action. And the most hopeful thing we can do right now is build our factions, as she called them. Plant our seeds. Build relationships with folks who we can trust to hold us when we're struggling, to bandage us when it's all done, who we can trust to make plans with for what's coming. We need to surround ourselves with trustworthy folks because we cannot do it alone. And as we heard from our reading from Kyle Tranmeyer, in every possible future we can imagine, in every universe, he said, in which I am alive, it is because of other people. Right now, we may feel like we have to look into every face that passes and wonder if they're safe or dangerous. We may look at our neighbors with new eyes. Maybe our rose-colored glasses have slipped and we are finally seeing what our marginalized beloveds have known all along. There are safe people and dangerous ones, and we need to know the difference. We can learn from our beloved people who live on the margins, who have lived their whole lives looking into the faces of those who pass them and knowing at a glance who is safe and assuming everyone else is not. Seeing things with a new perspective, we might want to find ways to show off how safe we are. Maybe wearing a blue Wow, that's a hard thing to say. Blue bracelet. That's very challenging to say. Or safety pins, but likely the marginalized people who we're trying to prove our safetyness to, they already know. They don't need us to show it to them. If you wear your UU values on your sleeve, it'll be hard to miss you in a crowd. I don't mean literally, because we don't have the pins yet with the values, but if someone wanted to make that enameled pin, I would buy it. My colleague, the Reverend Terry Benor, wrote these words on Wednesday morning, I guess afternoon. Yesterday, as I've done half a dozen times before, I worked at the polling site with Anne. Red Anne and blue me. Bless you. We greet warmly, genuinely happy to see each other, both dedicated to this particular way, one of many ways that we shape America. I woke up this morning hating Anne for a moment. Quite a few moments, if I'm being honest. And as I sobbed in my bed and my 2 dogs licked my face and pressed against me, concerned, I could feel their hearts beat. I could feel connection again, enough at least to get up, get dressed, and meet a beloved friend and walk together in a cool, foggy morning, surrounded by the life and decay of earth, so visceral in autumn. On my way back home, I stopped at Roots Coffee, at first staying in my small bubble of rawness and grief before lifting my gaze. I even smiled at the old man who irritated me for no real reason and said to him, "Have a nice day." We both seemed startled, and then he smiled back. I'd like to invite more micro and macro connections, more moments of these tender vulnerabilities, because I can't let myself hate Anne. That's not the America I'm willing to shape. We each have an America we want to shape into being. We, many of us, have been grieving the America we hoped could be were a different president elected. We, many of us, still want to shape this America into something we can believe in. As Terry said, it starts with micro and macro connections, tender vulnerabilities, choosing not to fear or hate those we know made a different choice than we did. We don't need to like them, we don't need to trust them, but we cannot fear or hate them if we want to move forward towards a better future. Speaking of the future, we don't know what exactly is ahead of us, what's coming in the months and years and decades ahead as we join the fight against what Trump has planned. Ugh. I hate that I had to say his name from the pulpit. I'm sorry. It makes me very uncomfortable. We don't know what will be asked of us, but we do now need to consider how we can prepare for what's coming. There are some things that you can do now to get prepared. In a lengthy article from Waging Nonviolence, Daniel Hunter shared 10 things to do now that Trump has won. The first few I've already talked about: trusting yourself, feeling your grief, finding your trusted people. He then repeats the number one rule in resisting fascism: don't obey in advance. Don't imagine what the new government will restrict you to, and do that to yourself. Hunter says, if autocrats teach us any valuable lesson, it's this: political space that you don't use, you lose. So don't give up your voice, don't give up your power willingly. Hunter also suggests thinking about how you will resist the coming administration. He offers 4 categories to consider. Hopefully we will see a slide in a moment or two. The categories are protect people, disrupt and disobey, defend institutions, and build alternatives. I think we as a church are particularly suited for protecting vulnerable people, being a sanctuary, a safe place for those who are targeted by this administration. We could also work on building alternative ways of doing things, food banks and offering shelter being two ways that churches already offer alternatives. But you might be in a position to defend institutions from within, resisting destructive policies in your work or volunteer life, or you might be in a position to organize disobedience and disruption, helping plan a strike or a walkout, helping plan ways to take action that undermines the powers of those who seek to abuse it. One important thing to know, though, about all of this is that social media is not the place to do this organizing. Nope. Don't use unsafe internet. Don't plan a strike on Facebook or try to muster support on Twitter. No. If you're planning something, please use Signal or other similar apps. It looks like this. It's encrypted end to end, and your messages will be secure. And Hunter's final note, you know I didn't go through all 10, you can look up the article. His final note is to envision a positive future. We can do that, right? We can do that. Maybe not right now, but we're people of vision, we're people of compassion and of hope. So often when I struggle to find the right words, I look towards music to help say what I need to be said. That's why I keep posting songs to y'all on Facebook. You might have noticed that I keep saying, this song might help you. So in that spirit, let's sing about visioning the future. So I invite you to rise and body our spirit to join me in singing our closing hymn, 1017, Building a New Way. And stick around after our closing words to hear the song Hope Comes from the Banksons. Remember you are part of this community and you are beloved. When you go, go in peace. Shalom and shalom.
Leave this place knowing that you are good and knowing that you are loved.
Blessed be.
Take your dark and your light and your love from this
a sane reaction, but one in need of action, because your spirit needs protection. So gather up your sinew and gather up your faction. Hope is not a feeling, hope is an action. Hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes. We are not all right. I said hope comes. We are not all right. I'm gonna fall down on my knees.
That's an act of living.
I'm gonna say, will you help me please?
That's an act of living.
I'm gonna say I'm not all right.
That's
From the place where the hurt comes. I said hope come from the hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope come from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope come from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. The part of you that is not all right, yeah, is also the part that loves the light. And the part of you that is suffering is the part that calls in change. And you don't have to feel ashamed. There is nothing to forgive. The part of you that is crying out is the part that wants to live. Yeah, hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. When your world is burning down, well, getting hot is a sane reaction, but one in need of action, because your spirit needs protection. So gather up your sinew and gather up your faction. Hope is not a feeling, hope is an action. Hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes from the place where the hurt comes. I said hope comes. We are not all right. I said hope comes. We are not all right. I'm gonna fall down on my knees.
That's an act of living.
I'm gonna say, will you help me please?
That's an act of living.
I'm gonna say I'm not all right.
That's an act of living.
I'm just trying to make it through this night. Yeah.
That's an act of living.